What is going on, football fans? Back at it with our second weeks of our picks against the spread. Now, for anybody that's tuning in for the first time, we are not picking winners straight up. We are picking against the Vegas line. So it makes it a lot more challenging. So don't laugh at us when you see our records for the first week. But KidBlue, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing great, man. I'm excited to get another week going. Pretty tough last week. I did a little better than expected last week, but I still need have room for some improvement. But yeah,
Yeah. And by the way, anybody that has not done so, the link will be in the description below. Go over there and sub up KidBlue. He's got a great channel over there.
appreciate it.
And I'll be working with him in the future. We'll be doing some streams together. But let's pop up the records, KidBlue. You, for the first week, were 7, 8, and 1. And your locks, you actually had, that was your tie. You went 1, 1, and 1 with your locks. I was a game worse. I was 6, 9, and 1 with the 2 and 1 record on the locks. I hit on the Patriots game, and I hit on the 49ers game. I missed on the Seahawks.
Oh,
Yeah, and that was a surprise. I really thought that would have been a blowout going up against the Bengals.
oh,
At
yeah,
home. But like we were saying before we went live, the first week, you never know.
yeah, for
Yeah,
sure, man.
yeah, you never know. You're still learning the league. But our first matchup, we're going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming up a close loss to the 49ers, going to Carolina. Carolina favored by 6.5. Carolina played pretty decent in a losing effort the first week. Who do you like in this one?
Oh, I like Carolina. I think they're a lot better than I thought they would. They were going to be because they held out with Los Angeles. I thought that was going to be a blowout.
Yeah.
I thought Los Angeles was going to come in there to the Carolina and just blow them out, but Carolina stood in there. They only lost by 3 points and they pushed, so that screwed me on my spread. But it's okay. But I think Carolina's going to come out strong. I think Tampa Bay started off strong against the San Francisco 49ers, but they eventually gave up their lead and San Francisco pulled away. So in this divisional matchup, I've got to take Carolina minus 6.5.
I'll tell you, 6.5 is a big spread. Tampa Bay has a very good offense. Well, we'll see. Jameis Winston at the helm, but they have the ability to put up a lot of points, especially with that Bruce Arians offense. But that defense is putrid. I mean, that is a bad defense. And I think Carolina's going to be able to establish the ground game against them, which is their bread and butter. That's what they want to do to you, between McCaffrey and Newton. And I think they'll be able to do that. I think they'll run the ball effectively. And I do think that they just cover the spread because of how just poor that defense is. I think the Bucs will put up points. But I think Carolina, I'm going to go something like 27-20, something like that. But I think Carolina just covers it.
Yeah, I got them 31-20. So
All right, so pretty
somewhere
close.
around the same thing.
Pretty close. Next game we got up. We both called this. I think we both had the Titans covering the spread against the Browns last week.
Yeah.
And we said that they could win outright, and they did. It was a big spread, 5.5 points. This week, we've got the Colts. We got the Colts headed to the Titans. The Titans favored by 3. Colts narrowly lost to the Chargers. I think it was relatively close, maybe 7 points on the road.
Yeah.
Now they go on the road to the Titans, coming up a nice performance. Who do you like here?
I gotta give it. First of all, I gotta give it to Indianapolis. I didn't think they were gonna stay in that game as much as they did. I don't know if that's just the bad Chargers without Melvin Gordon, Derwin James, guys like that, or that's just Indianapolis actually figuring out how to win without Jacoby Brissett. So I'll give them a little credit there. But I think Tennessee is hot right now, man. I've been high on Tennessee. I really like them. I have to take them -3 here. Tennessee really showed out against Cleveland. They punched Cleveland in the mouth after Cleveland was
That's an
the
understatement. That's
big
an understatement.
bad Cleveland Browns, picking off Baker Mayfield 3 times. Derrick Henry looked strong. I'm happy he's hitting his stride. Marcus Mariota looked really good. So I think this team is on the right track. The defense is starting to play. Like, everything is starting to come together for the Titans. And Indianapolis looks good too. Marlon Mack looks strong. But I think Tennessee is going to come out with the win here.
Yeah, and you think they cover the 3, obviously.
Yeah, cover the 3.
Yeah, divisional matchup. It'll be interesting for sure. I think these two teams met last game of the season, to make the playoffs, if I'm not mistaken. It was a play-in almost. And the Colts were able to knock them out to make the playoffs. The Colts did exactly what I thought they were going to do. Once Andrew Luck went down, I thought that they would turn to the ground game with that offensive line. Marlon Mack, that's exactly what they did. Marlon Mack, I think, went over 100 yards in that game.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to have to do going forward. They're going to have to rely on that offensive line. They're going to have to change the identity of their football team. That being said, Titans, I think, are better at that. I think Henry, they're going to ground and pound. That defense, like you said, I was not a fan of the Titans when the season started, but I liked them in that game. And after that performance, I'm gonna tell you what, they might win that division. They might win that division. I mean, the Texans are good, but Titans are going to cover the spread. Titans are going to cover the spread at home. I'm pretty confident in that. I'm going to say by about a touchdown. I'll take the Titans by about a touchdown. I think Henry goes for like a $130. Colts have a decent defense, though. I will say that, but I think that they run the ball down their throat, and that defense is just too much for Brissett to handle.
Yeah. And Marcus Mariota really made me believe in him as well. I have him on fantasy, and I benched him for Aaron Rodgers, and he outperformed Aaron Rodgers by almost like double. So I'm a believer in Marcus Mariota.
Yeah, I mean, granted, they were playing the Bears still, but still, that's crazy that he would.
Yeah.
Next game we got up. Oh, man. Our New York Football Giants are home. It's the home opener.
Yep.
Going against the Buffalo Bills. Bills were here last week against the Jets, so maybe they just slept over. I don't know.
Yeah, right?
Second straight game at MetLife Stadium. Pretty convenient to get you 2 road games out of the way in the same state or pretty much the same state.
Yeah.
Pretty good scheduling. But the Bills, nice win last week. They come back, they beat the Jets. What do you think they're going to do against the Giants?
I'm not going to lie. People may call me a homer, but I think the Giants can come out and get this win. The defense isn't too far off from what Dallas has there, and I think the offense, should we run with Saquon Barkley, I think we should be fine. It all matters about the coordinators, about what if they can make smart decisions. The offense for the Bills, I'm still not liking it. I like their offensive line. I just don't think Josh Allen really has what it takes to dot us up the way that Dak Prescott did. They have a strong running game. Devin Singletary there at running back. But I'm going to have the Giants here as the underdog, covering the 2.5 point spread. I have them winning the game as well. So I'm going to take the Giants here, man.
So far, we've agreed on the first 2 games. This is the third game, and we're going to agree again. I'm taking the Giants to win outright. When you look at the Buffalo Bills, they're a much different team than the Dallas Cowboys, right? We failed to get after the quarterback against Dallas, and I think a lot of that had to do with how strong Dallas's offensive line was, right? The Buffalo Bills, it's an improved offensive line, but they've never played together. They're still learning the ropes, right? Last week, Josh Allen turned the ball over 4 times against the New York Jets. 2 fumbles, 2 interceptions. He's prone to turnovers. I think the Giants have to send the dogs. And after last week's performance, I said they got to get a little more conservative. But against this team specifically, with that quarterback prone to turning the ball over, you have to get after him. You got to send exotic blitzes, 6 guys, 7 guys, whatever it takes, make him make mistakes. And I think the Giants are going to be able to do that at least twice in this game. And I think because of that, I think Shermer, or at least I hope Shermer, learned his lesson off of last week. And if you look at the Bills' defense last year, they were the best defense in football against the pass. They were middle of the pack against the run. So, that being said, I think the Giants learn their lesson. They give Barkley the ball, 20 to 25 carries, and I think they get their home opener. And I think they get to 1-1. So I do like the Giants here, not just to cover the spread. I think they're going to win the game.
All right, we agree on all 3 so far. Let's get it.
Next game we got up. You want to talk about a huge spread. You want to talk about a huge spread. The Baltimore Ravens at home against the Arizona Cardinals. Ravens favored by 13.5. This is the same Cardinals team that just tied the Detroit Lions, who we both liked this year, right? So, and the Ravens, of course, blew the doors off of Miami, but that's kind of like beating your local high school team. Yeah. Who do you like in this contest?
Man, I'm gonna have to take Arizona plus 13.5. I think they're gonna cover the spread. Baltimore played lights out. I mean, 59. They lit it up like a college game, man. It was insane. I just don't see them doing it again. Arizona is a bad team, but they're still a lot better than Miami, I would say, especially at quarterback as well. I think Kyler Murray really impressed. He had a bad few quarters, but really showed resilience and really played all the way down to the clock hit 0 against Detroit. And that was a good matchup against Detroit, man. They have a pretty good defense. And, I think they're going to cover the spread here. That's 2 touchdowns. I don't think they'll lose by that much. So I'm going to take Arizona with the points.
I'll tell you, Arizona impressed me last week. They really did. I think the line was 2.5. I took the Lions confidently. I really thought the Lions were going to blow them out. Yeah. I still don't believe in them. And I'm not a huge believer in the Ravens either, but I actually think they're going to cover the spread. I do. I know it's a huge spread, 13.5 points, but I think Arizona, rookie quarterback, Kyler Murray, right? And I get it, right? He played a great fourth quarter, overtime, got him back in the game. Rookie quarterback going up against the top 5, 6, 7, 8 defense. That's not the best recipe for success.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough.
So I think he's gonna make some turnovers with that offensive line. I think the Ravens get after him. I see a lot of sacks. I could see turnovers in this game. And then on the other side, their defense sucks. Arizona's defense is not good. Baltimore, one of the best running attacks in football between Lamar Jackson, the running backs, everybody else. I think Baltimore is going to ground and pound. I think they're going to control this game. I do think they cover the spread. I really do. And maybe I'm wrong. This is not a game I'm like supremely confident in. It's not near one of my locks. But I am actually going to take Baltimore to narrow, maybe win by 17 points. I think they cover the spread.
All right.
All right. Next game up, we've got the biggest spread of the week. This feels like a college football spread. The New England Patriots going to Miami on the road. They're favored by 19 points on the road. Miami just lost by 1 million. Who do you like in this one?
Oh, I like New England if they were favored by 1 million. So I'm actually gonna take. It's kind of ironic. I took Arizona with the points here with 13.5, but I'm going to take New England with the 19. I think they can do it after what they did at Pittsburgh. Now I don't know if the Pittsburgh Steelers just suck, but I mean Pittsburgh is actually a pretty good team, and the fact what New England did to Pittsburgh tells me they're gonna lay a boom on Miami. I like this to be somewhere like a 42-16 type game. I think they score a lot of points again. Miami has a lot to figure out, so I'm going to take New England with the points there.
19 points is a lot. And I never like taking road favorites when it's that big of a spread. Now, when you look back at last year, Miami actually won this game when they played in Miami. With the Miami Miracle, whatever it was.
Yes.
Which is more of an incentive, I think, for Belichick to blow their doors off. And the New England was hitting on all cylinders against the Steelers. I mean, they made the Steelers look like the Giants. I mean, they destroyed that football team, and we both think is a pretty good football team.
Yeah.
I know it's on the road. I think they're coming in pissed off after last year with that Miami Miracle. I think the Dolphins completely suck. They're the worst team in football. They might not win a game this year. They might not win a game this year.
Completely right.
Patriots are winning this game. It's just a matter of by how much. And I do think they cover. I think they win by like 27. I'm gonna go something like I'll go like 37-10, something like that. I think they're gonna destroy them, and I think they cover that spread, which is crazy. I feel like it's a college football spread.
Yeah, it feels like it's gonna feel like a college football game by the time it's over.
And next game we got up, the Dallas Cowboys. This is a classic rivalry, divisional game. Dallas Cowboys on the road, favored by 5 against the Washington Redskins.
Now, I felt like Washington, last week I chose them with the spread because I felt like they could keep it close, but this spread is just too small for me to take Washington here. I don't think they're going to keep it between 5 points. I think Dallas really showed what they can do, especially Dak Prescott against the Giants. Now, that being said, I think anybody could throw on the Giants at this point, right? But Dak Prescott did show. I watched him on film. I did a whole film review, and I like what I saw from Dak Prescott. He looked a lot better as a passer, and I think he's just going to do the same thing to Washington. Not worse, but he's going to do around the same thing. I think he doesn't keep it that close, the Dallas Cowboys. I think, watching the Philadelphia game as well, Philadelphia was able to run all over the Redskins, no matter who was that running back. I watched the highlights. It was ridiculous. I mean, anybody could run on Washington, and it just so happens that the Cowboys have one of the best running backs in the league. So I think Dallas would just ground and pound, probably wouldn't even have to use Dak Prescott too much. I'm going to take Dallas -5.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, guys, stick around. If you didn't know it's the first time, we're going to give you our locks after we do the picks. But as far as this game goes, I mean, Dallas, they look good. They look good. That new offensive system with the pre-snap motions, they were aggressive. The Redskins, we both called it. We said the Eagles were going to come out sluggish, and they did. The Redskins came out 17-0 lead, and I think it was based on circumstance. I think Wentz was out the last 5 games, didn't play in preseason. I knew they were going to come out a little sluggish. I don't think the Redskins are a very good football team. I think the Cowboys are a very good football team. I know it's on the road. I know it's a divisional opponent. I don't care. With that offense, the way that looked, the ground game, the offensive line, the lack of weaponry for the Washington Redskins, and the strong defense for the Dallas Cowboys, I'm surprised the spread. I thought the spread would be about 8 or 9. At 5, I like Dallas big time here. I like Dallas to cover that spread.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, next game we got up. We've got the Houston Texans game. Texans are at home against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Texans favored by 9. Now, a couple weeks ago, before the season, you would have said 9. But obviously the Foles injury. So, what's your thoughts on this game?
I'm gonna give credit to Gardner Minshew. He really held his own against Kansas City, but Kansas City's defense isn't as good as Houston's defense. And Houston really put on a show against the Saints, who I thought the Saints were gonna just destroy the Houston Texans. I thought they would keep it close in the beginning, and then New Orleans would eventually, gain up their leads and run up the score. But Houston really showed resilience against one of the best teams in the league. Jacksonville is without their starting quarterback. Jacksonville has a good defense. I just don't think Gardner Minshew is going to do enough against this Houston defense to keep up. I'm going to take Houston with the 9. I'm not confident about it. I'm not going to lie, because I think they could easily, lose by, win by 8. I think Houston could win by 8 and just screw me over. But I'm going to take Houston with the 9 points, like a 26-17 type game.
Yeah, this is not a game that I love, if I'm betting.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, I was nervous about Houston going into that Monday night game. I didn't, because with all the turnover with Tunsil and Clowney, I was like, all right, I think it's going to take a couple weeks. They look pretty good. They look pretty good.
Fantastic, man.
Going into New Orleans, they went toe-to-toe with arguably the best team in football on the road, one of the hardest places to play. Houston impressed me. They really did. They're going to win this game. Foles is out now. And like you said, Gardner Minshew. I mean, I don't care. Kansas City's defense sucks. I don't care. With Minshew, I like Houston to cover the spread. I'll take them by 14. I like them to cover that 9 in that divisional matchup. Next game we got up. The Seattle Seahawks on the road, traveling to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 4, coming off a very disappointing performance. What do you like? Who do you like in this one?
I may upset Pittsburgh fans, but I've been saying, I actually have a video coming out on this tomorrow. I've been saying it for months. Pittsburgh is one of the most overrated teams in the NFL. They will always make the playoffs. They'll always look good at some points, but you saw Sunday night what they put out there, and they're just such a Jekyll and Hyde type team. I think Seattle needs a bounce back week, a concerning win against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They didn't look too good against the Cincinnati Bengals. Yeah. Against the Bengals, they struggled at home as well. So they need a game to show people who they're still the Seattle Seahawks. I think Pittsburgh, they can't figure out anything on offense. Their offensive coordinator, Randy Fitchner, whatever the hell his name is, the guy was running plays from the empty set the whole time. The only time there was a running back in the backfield was 3rd down and 10. They have to figure out what they're doing on offense, and they have a real big test against the Seattle Seahawks coming to town. I'm going to take Seattle outright to win this game, so I'm going to have them covering the spread and winning the game.
Wow. You hear that? You hear that, guys? KidBlue's taking a money line. In this game, Steelers favored by 4. Seahawks disappointed. They both disappointed me.
Yeah, they disappointed.
I thought the Seahawks were going to kill the Bengals at home.
Yeah.
I think the Steelers bounce back. I think the Steelers bounce back. I think they're a legit team. I picked them to win the North. I'm not going to let 1 week deter me. I think the Steelers bounce back. I think Seattle's overrated. They went 10-6 last year. I didn't believe in them last year. I think they outplayed what their talent indicated. And I think the Steelers are still pretty good. I think if this was in Seattle, I think Seattle wins the game. But being in Pittsburgh and the fact that Pittsburgh got demolished by the Patriots, I think they're going to come in pissed off. I think they know they need to win this game. Seattle, they played bad, but they got to win. This is a must-win game for the Steelers. They don't want to drop to 0-2. I got to go Steelers here, and I got them covering the spread. I got them winning by about 7 points at home against the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm not too confident about it.
Yeah,
but,
I'm not confident either. That's not a game I'm confident with.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna take the Steelers. Next game up, Niners on the road. This was a Super Bowl back in the day. Niners Bengals. Niners on the road, favored by 1.5 in Cincinnati. Cincinnati, like we were saying, impressive performance. Everybody thought they were going to get killed against Seattle. Snuck up on us a little bit. Do you think it continues?
I think, call me crazy. This may be a little risk here. I think Cincinnati wins this game, man.
Woo!
I think they win this game. I think they held out. John Ross, where the hell did he come from? He looked good against Seattle. I think he continues that against San Francisco. San Francisco is a good team. Don't get me wrong. This could easily go another way. I don't know why. I don't know why at all. Andy Dalton, for whatever reason, every time when he's healthy in the beginning of the years, this happened a couple, like 2 or 3 times already. In the beginning of the season, he always has like MVP type season where everybody's like, "Whoa, did Andy Dalton just turn a new leaf?" And now he's the NFL's leading passer right now.
He threw for 400 yards, right?
Yeah, he's the NFL's leading passer right now. So I'm going to take Cincinnati while they're hot. I'm going to take Cincinnati while the red rifle is hot. I'm going to take Cincinnati to win at home and cover the spread.
I'm not. I've been saying for a long time, I'm very confident with this pick. Preview, guys, this will be one of my locks. The 49ers were one of my locks last week. And the funny thing is, I don't even love the 49ers this year. I think everybody's overrating them. But these spreads, last week was a pick 'em against Tampa Bay. I didn't understand that. This, to me, I don't believe in the Bengals. I think they're being a little overhyped because people are like, maybe they're better than we thought. They stuck with Seattle and Seattle. I don't believe it. I think it was a fluke game. I still think this is one of the bottom 2 or 3 teams in football. Their defense sucks. Andy Dalton sucks. I don't care that he had a good game. Maybe he comes out and has a decent game again. I don't know. I believe in this 49ers team when they paired against this team. You want to talk about a mismatch. Seattle, the San Francisco 49ers are much stronger on defense. They're much stronger on offense. They're a much better team. I don't care if this game's being played in Cincinnati. I don't care if this game's being played on the moon. I'm taking the 49ers. I'm taking them to cover that spread comfortably. Double-digit win. I got them by 10. On the road, they cover that spread easily. I like the 49ers.
All right. I feel like Vegas confused on the 49ers. They're not picking them with big spreads at all.
They don't like
so far.
They don't like
them. They don't like them, man. Tampa Bay, Cincinnati.
Yeah.
But
next game we got up. Divisional matchup. Both teams looked impressive week 1. Minnesota Vikings on the road going to the Packers versus the Cheeseheads. Both teams impressed me, and I like both these teams coming into the year. I actually had the Bears finishing 3rd in the North behind these two. So I'm not surprised by the way they look. But what do you think of this game?
I think every single divisional matchup in the NFC North is going to be a low-scoring defensive game. All 4 of these teams have great defenses. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. It's going to be, tooth and nail, ground and pound. Dalvin Cook versus Aaron Jones, a lot of that. I think Minnesota pulls off a really, really tough one here. I think they win on the road. I like Green Bay. I'm really impressed with their defense. What they look like on defense now is crazy. You would never think when you hear defense, you don't think of Green Bay. Yeah. So I mean, they played outstanding the first game of the season, and but I like Minnesota here. They did a number on Atlanta. I'm not impressed with Green Bay's offense. I'm not gonna lie. I thought Aaron Rodgers always looked sharp, but I don't think he has the weapons in the wide receiving core to really produce. I think Minnesota's defense is probably equal, if not better, than Chicago. I like Chicago's. I love Minnesota's defense.
I do too. I just don't think it's on par with Chicago, but I think
I think Minnesota is going to win this game outright. They cover the spread as well. It's going to be like a 19-17 type game, very close, very highly contested.
I think it's a great game. I think both teams look fantastic. This is the game of the week. I think both teams look fantastic week 1. I love both of them this year. I got them both going to the playoffs. The Packers, they really revamped that defense this offseason. And it showed. It showed. They made Trubisky look like a lost puppy dog out there. He didn't know what he was doing, okay? That Packer defense is legit. Aaron Rodgers, I'm not concerned. Aaron Rodgers is my pick for MVP for a reason. And I know,
he's great.
And I know he's not putting up the stats early because he's playing the Bears and the Vikings. I don't expect him to tear it up because he's playing the Vikings. Vikings have a very good defense. 3 points, right? I love the Packers. I got the Packers going to the Super Bowl, actually, in the NFC this year. I love them. I love them. Love them. I think that is perfect. I think the Packers are going to win this by a field goal. Oh, I'm going to take the Vikings. I'm going to say the Packers win by 2 because last week, every time I said that, I took the favorite. I said, maybe they'll win by 4. This week, I'm going to switch it up. I'll take the Vikings getting 3, but I think the Packers win, I'll say 21-20. But I think it's going to be an unbelievable game. I think the Vikings are a great team. They're one of the most talented teams in football. They underachieved last year, but they got a great football team over there.
Yes, a lot of talent on there.
All right. Next game we got up. Kansas City Chiefs on the road going to the Oakland Raiders. Chiefs favored by 7.5.
Man, what a showing Oakland put out on Monday night against Denver. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was big on Denver this year. I thought the Bradley Chubb and Von Miller duo was really gonna step up on that defense. Their secondary's bad though, man. Yadam, what is he, Isaac Yadam or whatever? He's like the new Antonio Hamilton. He is like Antonio Hamilton out there, man.
Don't even say that name. Don't say that. Don't say that name.
Ridiculous. But Kansas City. I mean, just to keep it short, Kansas City is gonna flat out just destroy the Oakland Raiders. I don't. The point. I don't know why Kansas City. Last week they were only favored by what? 4?
Yeah.
4. They only
against the Jaguars. Yeah.
Against the Jaguars. Now they're favored by 7.5 against Oakland. I think Vegas disrespecting Kansas City, man. I think this is going to be another blowout win. I know it's a divisional game, but Kansas City, even in the AFC West rivalries, Oakland never really competes with Kansas City. So I'm going to take Kansas City in a blowout here. So obviously I'm taking them with the points. It's going to be like a 37-17 type game.
This is a great analysis. This is another one of those games where I think the Vegas is jumping on a team because they had a pretty good week 1, like the Bengals did. The Raiders suck. I don't care that they look good week 1. They suck. I don't believe in this team. They're garbage. They're a 5-win, 6-win team tops. And they're going up against arguably the best team in football. All right, the Kansas City Chiefs are fantastic. I know their defense isn't that good, but they're not going to keep up with this team. Again, I don't care where this game's being played. Played on Jupiter. I don't care. The Chiefs are going to destroy them.
Yeah, man.
The Chiefs cover that spread easily. I'll say 14 points or more. Chiefs cover it. Book it. Bet it right now, guys. Next game we got up. Saints-Rams, rematch of last year's NFC title game. Rams at home, favored by 2.5. What do you like?
I'm not going to lie. I think this is my game of the week here, man. New Orleans is pissed after what happened in the championship game. And on top of that, they had to face the refs last week against Houston. The refs were not on their side last week, so they beat the refs last week. They're going to go ahead and beat the Rams this week. I think New Orleans is going to come into Los Angeles and beat the Saints, beat the Los Angeles Rams. They're fired up, man, and they're red hot. If you ask me, I think their win against Houston was more impressive than Los Angeles win against Carolina. And, the point differential is around the same thing. So I think New Orleans is going to come out firing. I have them covering the 2.5 point spread and winning the game. I'm going to take New Orleans here.
This is another one of those games. If I'm in Vegas, I'm not betting it. I don't feel super confident either way.
Yeah.
Rematch of last year's NFC title game. Saints got screwed. Saints looked a little sloppy last week. I thought they were going to blow out the Texans, but I thought the Rams were going to blow out the Panthers. So both of them came out a little sluggish. Saints on the road were not nearly as good last year as at home, right? Rams were great at home. But the Rams, I still think the Rams are great. I still think they're going to win the West, but I don't think they're as good as last year. I'm going to take the Saints to win. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I don't think they just cover. I think they win outright. I'll take the Saints by like a field goal. I think the Saints go into L.A. and get to 2-0 this year. Again, not a game I'm super confident about, but I think the Saints do enough with that offense, with Kamara, with Breeze. I know the Rams have a great defense, especially in the middle. They're going to be tough to move the ball against. But Gurley, I think, is still a little bit banged up. He's their number one weapon. I know McVay's a brilliant offensive mind, but I got the Saints. I got the Saints narrowly winning this game because of the revenge factor as well.
Yes,
that plays a small part.
They are pumped.
Yeah.
They're pumped.
So I'm taking the Saints there. Next game we got up. This, to me, very interesting game. Very interesting game. Bears going to Denver. Bears favored by 2.5.
This is interesting because it's not like we saw too much of offense from both of these teams. Both of these teams offensively did not impress me whatsoever. Denver more so because it's the Oakland Raiders defense. I mean, this is like the Oakland Raiders defense was terrible last year. So the fact that Joe Flacco couldn't get the ball moving, well, they got the ball moving, they just couldn't get in the end zone. That was the big problem for Denver. Chicago has a crazy defense. I mean, it's insane. If they could figure out their offense and Mitch Trubisky has a bounce back game, I think Chicago handles them fine. I think it will be a little bit of a test though, but I think Chicago has this game. I think they're a lot better than what they showed on Thursday night. They were facing a Green Bay team that they were not expecting with that defense. But pretty much on the defense, on Denver's defense, you just have those edge rushers, and everybody else are just regular players. So I think they'll be fine against the Denver defense. So I'm going to take Chicago minus 2.5.
I think it's a very interesting game. Both teams come in at 0-1. Both teams had games that they expected to win week 1, so they're both in a hole. They don't want to drop to 0-2. 11% chance of making the playoffs on teams that drop to 0-2. So one of these teams is going to have an 11% chance of making the playoffs at the end of this game. And you're going into, unless they tie, maybe they tie, but you're going you're going into Denver, which is a very tough place to play. That's why I think it's an interesting game. All right, historically, it's one of the, in terms of the altitude and everything else. But even though I don't love Chicago this year, I give them a lot of credit. They have an unbelievable defense, maybe the best defense in football. And they're going to Denver with Joe Flacco. I don't believe in that Denver offense. I know they got a couple of nice weapons, Sutton, the running backs, Lindsey. I don't believe in it. That Bears defense is going to eat them up. I think they create some turnovers. And I think the Bears come out pissed. I do. I think they're going to run this up. I think the Bears win this by double digits. I like the Bears on the road to cover this easily. I'll go Bears. Next game we got up. This is a good game. Sunday night game. The Battle of the Birds. Eagles. Falcons. Eagles favored by 1.5 on the road. Give me your thoughts, KidBlue.
I hate the Eagles, of course, but I'm really looking forward to this game, man. I love fast offensive play. We're going to see a lot of that spread offense and just a lot of fast players on both of these teams. I'm excited for it.
So bet the over. You're saying bet the over.
Oh yeah, this should be that type of game, shootout type game. But I'm going to take, as much as I hate to say it, I'm going to take Philadelphia here. I think Atlanta really got stumped against Minnesota, and I know Minnesota is a great defense. But I like Philadelphia here on the road, and I believe they beat them before on the road a couple of years ago in Week 1, if I'm not mistaken. But I think Philadelphia is going to take this game. They looked a little sluggish against the Redskins. Went down 17-0, but they came back. They were resilient. They didn't give up. So you gotta like that. I'm gonna take Philadelphia minus the 1.5.
Yeah, I believe these two teams played last year, first game of the season, and I remember the Eagles came out really sluggish in that game, and they found a way to win it.
No, okay, it was last week.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, and it was the same story this week with the Redskins. They came out sluggish. Falcons, I still don't believe in their defense. I know they're healthy. I don't believe in the defense. They have a great offense. They're gonna put up points, but the Eagles have a very good defense. I know it's in Atlanta. I know Atlanta needs this game. They're 0-1. I don't care. I think the Eagles are a better football team. I just do. I think the Eagles have a much better defense, and that is going to be the difference in this game. Matt Ryan's going to get his points. We know he's going to put up his points there, but I don't think he's going to be able to put up enough. I just don't. I think Carson Wentz is able to move the football on that defense relatively easily. I freaking hate the Eagles. I despise the Eagles. I would want nothing more than to see the Falcons win this game. Unfortunately, I see the Eagles getting a 2-0. I don't believe in the Falcons this year. I think they're in for another disappointing year. I'm going to go like a 7-win type year. I like the Eagles in this game to win and obviously cover the 1.5. I got the Eagles. And then last but not least, the Cleveland Clowns taking on the New York Jets on the road Monday Night Football. The Browns favored by 3. Both these teams coming off very disappointing weeks. Now, the Jets, the score wasn't that disappointing, but they had a 16-point lead. Browns, of course, we talked about it. They got destroyed. So, I want your thoughts on this game.
Man, a couple of years ago, this probably would have been the toilet bowl game. But call me crazy, but I'm actually pretty excited for this game.
It's a fun game.
Yes, I'm actually pretty excited because, first of all, I want to see what Cleveland's really got under the lights. If you remember last year, Baker's debut was against the Jets. He had them come back from a 14-0 deficit, won the game 21-17. So, he's very familiar with the Jets, and the Jets are very familiar with him. So I think this is going to be a good game to watch. I think, Sam Darnold versus Baker Mayfield is going to be fun. I'm going to take Cleveland here to win, but I'm not confident about it. I think the Jets, they came off a disappointing loss. I can't believe they allowed that much on Buffalo, 16-point comeback, or 17-point comeback. But I'm going to take the Cleveland Browns here to bounce back. I don't think what they pulled off against the Tennessee Titans is going to be the same every single week. So I think they'll be able to get a win here, 24-17. I'll have Cleveland covering.
What an interesting matchup. I mean, the two top quarterbacks from last year's draft. Like you said, this was the infamous game that started Baker Mayfield's career when he had the great comeback last year that these two teams played. And I believe it was in New York, if I'm not mistaken. And
Monday Night Football, I believe.
Yeah, it was a primetime game. I don't remember if it was it might have been Monday. But either way, it was a primetime game. It was under the lights. Baker put on a show. And this might be the future AFC Championship game 3-4 years down the road. We don't know. They both have young emerging quarterbacks. But everybody's talking about the Browns all year. Browns. They get their asses kicked against the Tennessee Titans. There's nothing better. Nothing better. The Jets blow a 16-point lead. What are you doing? I am pulling for the Jets this week. I hope the Jets put the Browns in an 0-2 hole. There's nothing I would like more. Nothing. I just think
11% chance at 0-2.
11% chance. I want him out. I want him out. But
I know, me too, man. Me too.
I got to take the Browns. I just think they're a more talented team. I think they're a more complete team. I know it's in New York. 3 point. I think the spread's pretty close. I think the Browns win a close game.
Yeah, man. It's going to be tough.
I'll say 4, 5, 6, 7 points, but I think they cover it. I think the Jets keep it close. I think for the Jets to win this game, Le'Veon Bell. Feed him. Feed him. They gotta win that time possession by 5 or 6 minutes to win this game. And if they feed Le'Veon Bell and he could run the ball, they got a shot. Tennessee was able to do it last week. Can the Jets do it? We're gonna find out. But I think it's a really good game. I'm looking forward to it. But I got the Browns narrowly covering it. So that wraps it up. Those are the games for the week. And just like last week, we're gonna go over our 3 locks. We'll go one by one. I'll do my first lock.
Okay.
My first lock. I am gonna go. All right. I'll go with my most confident. San Francisco at Cincinnati. I know you picked Cincinnati. I'm locking that up. San Francisco on the road is covering it. Give me that lock. Go ahead. Give me your first.
All right. My first lock is going to be the Thursday night game, first game. We're going to see Carolina at Tampa Bay. I think Carolina is going to have a convincing win against Tampa Bay. I don't believe in their offense or defense. I think Tampa Bay just flat out sucks. I live in the Tampa area. I hear from the fans. They hate the team themselves. I think Carolina is going to come out with a very, very big win, locking them up.
Interesting stuff. My second lock, I am going to go with a divisional game, and I hate doing this. I don't believe in Brissett. I believe in those Titans. 3-point spread at home. Give me the Titans to cover that 3 relatively as easily. Get the lockout. That's my second. Go ahead.
That is exactly my second as well. I'm going to take Tennessee there to lock it up. Tennessee really, really impressed me against Cleveland. Cleveland's defense is, nothing to joke around about. And the fact that they did what they did, I think they really pulled off a good win there in Indianapolis. Fared well against Los Angeles, but Tennessee is a different monster. So locking up Tennessee.
Like that one. Great minds think alike. And then the last one, another divisional game. I hate doing this. Hate doing it. I think the Cowboys are a much better football team than the Redskins. I don't care that it's on the road. I'm taking the Cowboys to cover that 5 pretty easily again. I think they win by at least 7. Like that game, I'm locking it up. I'm very confident in that pick. So my 3 picks are the Titans, the Cowboys, and I went with the, what was my first one? San Francisco 49ers. 49ers, okay. Cowboys, and the Titans. Give me your third.
My third is going to be Chicago against Denver. I think Chicago is not as bad as what they put out on Thursday. Denver just might be. You got to be really bad to lose that bad against Oakland. So even in a divisional game. So I'm going to take Chicago here. I think they're going to have a very, very big win against Denver on the road.
That would have been my fourth. I'm confident in that one as well. If we did 4 locks, I like that pick. But as always, if you guys have not done so, if you stuck around for the 39 minutes, go into the link in the description. Sub up KidBlue. We're going to be doing this every week. I'll be on his channel. Every couple of weeks, we'll be doing a couple of primetime games together. Check out his channel. Sub him up. He puts out great Giants content. I want to thank you for coming on. Best of luck this week.
They have me on.
I gotta make up that 1 game differential this week. I gotta find a way to do it. But good luck this week, and we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you having me on. Good luck.
All right, buddy.